morning or good evening to all who is watching and who is ready to crochet with me today. So if you joined, prepare thread, hooks, scissors, Okay, so let's start our lesson. Please, those of you who joined, let me know you're here. And tell me where you're from. I know that all my audience always from all over the world. I'm trying to figure out why I can see this paper. I'm still learning how to make those live videos. It's quite a task because you wanted to make it right. So pardon me if I will move things around a little bit. I guess I cannot do it, but it's okay. It's not bothering me. I hope it's not bothering you too. So for our lessons, as you know already, I do not use very fine thread for lessons because I want you to see stitches and to see what I'm doing and how to crochet. So we will crochet today and we will use, actually in all lessons, a crochet thread number 10. I'm using Aunt Lydia's crochet thread. You can pick up DMC number 10 if they have, I'm not sure. Their Presencia Fin Crochet has number 10, and you can use Lisbeth thread number 10. You can use this thread only for learning when you are practicing. I do not recommend number 10 thread for Irish crochet, only as a packing cord or padding cord. But for when you're learning, when you're just starting and you want to learn the technique, learn how to crochet new motif, then number 10 or number 20 is best, of course, is a very good thread to try and practice with. But other than that, I use thread number 10 only for padding cord. And thread number 20, 40, 60, and so on. The bigger the number, the finer the thread. So for today lesson, if you want to just learn, if you feel comfortable with fine thread, please use fine thread. If you want to learn this technique and this motif, then pick up thread number 10. And I will use for videos probably hook 125. When you are learning also with this thread, you can use one of those hooks, 1 millimeter or 125 millimeters. Of course, you will need scissors, you will need a tapestry needle, later to weave in thread. So all this we will go through a little bit later during the lesson. Hello, Rick. So I have few people coming in. So let's just look at our... So today, on Tuesdays, we have lessons from this book. It's Irish crochet book of Irish crochet motifs from very old books. And You can find those motifs in antique books. As I remember, most of them in French books, some of them in books that written in English. And this book is amazing. In which way? Every motif is, you have a picture of it and you have a diagram. So today's lesson, we will crochet this motif, number 1. Also, I want you to look at motif number 5 in the same page. So 5 and 1, I don't know how to show it on one screen. Okay, so motif number 1 and 5, they're very similar. So I will crochet today only crochet hook, motif number 1, because number 5 is basically the same, a little bit longer, more petals in that leaf. And both leaves have diagrams on page 6 of this book. So we will go and crochet this motif today. And then it will be your homework to crochet motif number 5, because all you will learn today will help you to crochet this motif, because everything will be basically the same. So first let's look at diagram, as we always do. We always look at diagram first, and then we will crochet together. I'm trying to make sure you see that. So in all diagrams of Japanese books, most Japanese books have exactly the same diagrams. They follow the same symbols. You will have those 2 arrows. This one, the smaller one, and kind of short right triangle, it's the beginning of your work. It's right in here. This is where we will begin our crochet. And this arrow without short little line, this will be the end of the work of your crochet, and we can find it right here. Then throughout the work you will have the curvy line, red line. This is a padding cord. It shows you when you crochet over the padding cord and when you do not crochet over the padding cord. So you'll have to follow this, and I will show you how to do this today. And also we have a few symbols that probably some of you are not familiar. If you look very carefully, single crochet stitches look like little crosses, a plus, and some of them have line underneath. This line means that we have to crochet into the back loops of stitches of the previous row. Also, you have numbers in red color throughout the work. Those red numbers tells you how many stitches you have to crochet in a particular part of your crochet work. Like for example, if you have number 15 right here, that means that you have to crochet right here, the first row, 15 single crochet stitches. Then you have number 10, next row. When you go back, you will crochet 10 single crochet stitches. And then you go back again, 9 single crochet stitches. Also throughout the work you will find those kind of arrows, red arrows. Those arrows showing you the direction of your work. So which way you have to, how you following the diagram. This is how you go and crochet the same way, following the diagram. Like that. And good evening to Людмила. Добрий вечір. Или добрий вечір. It's from... you will hear me probably speak 2 languages or 3. I see that from Ukraine and Russia, ladies are joining me in this videos lessons. And I hope you understand English, because I teach only in English. Since I live in the United States, so my video tutorials are for English-speaking audience. And one more person showed again, Надежда, добрый вечер, good evening. So some of you who speak English only, you have chance to learn how to say good evening in Russian. Добрый вечер. Okay, ladies, let's continue with our diagram. So we already figure out what our numbers mean. Also, you have numbers in black. Those numbers are just the numbers of sections of this leaf. Section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It basically shows you what to do first so that you will understand not just the direction of your work, but also, the sequence, the parts of your work. And I will, throughout the crochet lesson, will refer to row. First row or second row, we don't have numbers of rows, but we have numbers of sections. So I will call this section number 1, section number 2, section number 3, section number 4, and so on. 5 and 6. So I'm trying to see what else I did not tell you. Okay, few more. You see broken lines like that right here throughout the work. Everywhere you see this like broken dotted line. This is places that show you where you connect single crochet stitches or your crochet to the previous rows. For example, when we will make our first row, this broken line here shows you direction which way you go. You turn and you crochet next row. Then again you have this broken line here, dotted line. You crochet this direction. And again here, the same way, you see? Then when we come in here, last two stitches, you have broken line that shows you, connecting you to the 2 stitches of the first row. This tells you that you have to connect or crochet those single crochet stitches into those stitches of the first row. Okay, I'm reading the comments from Ludmila. It's great that you understand English, wonderful, and you are from Kazakhstan. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so I think I told you all of it, but throughout the diagram and throughout crochet, if I forgot something to tell you right now, we can go into the diagram together. And also you can ask me questions at the end of the lesson. It will be way easier for me to answer them later at the end, but I will try my best to answer your questions when they come, if I'll see them. Okay, ladies, let's just go and crochet together. If you look at the text, it's all in Japanese, but I translate this text using Google with a telephone. When you put camera over this text, it will translate you to language you want, to the language you speak. So right here it tells us that we need 2 meters of the padding cord. So you take a thread that you will use for padding cord, cut 2 meters and fold in half. This is what it is. Also, I didn't translate today anything I really didn't need. I know that they will use thread number 40. And I don't know what they're talking about this. I think it's padding cord number 20. But it's okay. We will not pay attention to this. I can, if you want, I can translate a little bit later the directions that are here in this book. Okay, so I will put the diagram on the side right here that you could see this also. So I have my padding cord folded in half. And I will get my hook. I think I will use bigger hook. It's easier for me to crochet when I make videos. And this is our goal. We make this little leaf. I'll put it all the way in the corner over there that you could see it too. And thread. So pick up your thread. Oh, it doesn't. Actually, I have a lot of things going on. It's bothering me a little bit. Let's do this. Trying to figure out which way is better. Let's look at the diagram first, and we will crochet a little piece. I will put picture away, and then we will look at diagram again. I think this way will be way better. So Here it is. We will get our padding cord and we will start crocheting. We'll make first slip stitch and then we will crochet 15 single crochet stitches. I hope you can see the diagram. So after 15 stitches, we will turn our work and we will crochet without padding cord. So first row we crochet over the padding cord and then we will drop padding cord and crochet second row and a third row without padding cord. And then we will pick up padding cord again, and the fourth row we will crochet over the padding cord into the stitches of the last row. Now notice that we have those lines under each stitch. We will crochet throughout an entire work into the back loops of each stitch. So first row 15 stitches, then 10, then 9 and 10 again. Last two stitches we will crochet into the first row, into those two stitches at the end. And then we will come back to the diagram when we'll get here. So I will put my diagram away. I can see this and I hope you have your diagram. So it's always a good idea. Not everybody do that. I actually never did that before, but I saw how sometimes people struggling with crocheting over the padding cord. So cut another extra thread. Does not matter how long, not too long. And pull this thread, attach this thread to the loop of your padding cord, like that. I don't know why I folded this way. So you create this kind of loop into loop. So this is not your padding cord. We will crochet over this. This is the longest part. But this piece, it just helps you to start. Okay, and you'll see how I do that. So you pick up your thread. And what I do, I sometimes wrap around this thread to hold it. It's easier for me this way. And I go into the loop of my padding cord. Hi, Rebecca. And pick up thread, your working thread, and pull thread through. Make first stitch. This is your slip stitch. So as you can see, I don't know if you can hold thread this way, the padding cord and this additional thread. It's just easier to crochet this way when you have this little extension here. And then I crochet my 15 stitches around my padding cord. Also, if you noticed, I have this short tail of my working thread. We will crochet first row around it. That way we don't have to worry about weaving in. So for now we just ignore it. We crochet over this short tail and padding cord. 15 single crochet stitches. And I will try to do it slowly at first, so you'll see how I use this padding cord at the beginning, because without this extended thread, it's quite difficult to start. It's always a challenge for many people. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I don't need it, honestly. I have 7 stitches, so I will drop this because I don't need this anymore. You can continue crochet all 15 stitches with having this extended piece. Now I can remove it And I have to hide this loop right here that I have from padding cord. So I will just stop. I have few stitches here, and I will pull on a padding cord only. So you pull here, and this loop will disappear. But be careful, like that. You don't need to see this. Here it is. It's hidden now. And also remember that your padding cord shouldn't be seen through the stitches. Your stitches need to be nice and snug, not too tight, but snug next to each other. And after that, well, this is how I hold it. I just, with my fingers of my right hand, I hold the padding cord as my starting point. And then I continue. So I have 7 stitches. I continue 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now I will stop just to make sure that my stitches are tight, snug together, and padding cord is not seen anywhere. You don't want your padding cord to be seen through the stitches. And I can take this short tail and cut it off. I don't need this. I don't want to drag this with me all throughout my work. So very carefully cut this off. So now, according to diagram, let me show you on a diagram what we do so that you follow me there and it's easy for you to understand. So I made the first row. This is where I am right now. I will turn my work and I will crochet 10 single crochet stitches. I will drop my padding cord. I don't need this for a few rows. And I will crochet 10 single crochet stitches into the back loops of each stitch of my first row. So we don't need padding cord. We turn our work. And crochet 10 single crochet stitches. So all of you know also, those of you who crochet for many years, we go into the second stitch from the hook. We don't count the stitch that is on a hook. We skip this one. And in the second stitch, we start our next row into the back loop. I hope you can see very well. I will bring my work a little bit higher. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It could be probably a little bit challenging to crochet first few rows because it's a small piece. If you crochet with fine thread, you will need, of course, magnifying glass or glasses. Let me move my thread here on this side. So again, according to diagram, we turn in our work like that. And we crochet 9 single crochet stitches into the back loops. So those stitches right here are front loops, and right there our back loops. We go into the back loop right here. Here, back loops. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, now there's one more thing I have to show you on a diagram. So I will put my work down for a moment. And let's look at a diagram together. So here's my third row. I'm done here. Now you see the stitch right here. This stitch, single crochet stitch, is made over the padding cord. Now we can pick up our padding cord, first stitch, then turn and crochet the rest of stitches, 10 stitches, into the padding, over the padding cord and into stitches of the previous row. Also continue crocheting into the back loops. And last 2 stitches, you see those right here that I was telling you, they are made into the first row, right in here. And you will see how I crochet this. I'd say hello to everybody who just joined me. Okay, so first 3 rows are done. Now pick up padding cord, crochet 1 single crochet over this cord. Make sure it's nice and tight, not stretched stitch. You don't want it stretched. Now we turn our work like that. And we'll pick up our working thread and padding cord and continue crochet into the back loops and over the padding cord. Don't forget your cord right in here. Here it is. Three, 4, 5. Let me stop at this point, 5 stitches, and I'll tell you why. I always, when I stop and do something else, I always stretch my last stitch that I will not lose it and unravel my work. And I don't know if you notice, my padding cord, I hold this way with 2 fingers here, kind of grab it. This helped me with tension of the padding cord and actually helped me that my padding cord is not coming out on the back from the stitches. And even that, I stop once in a while, like 5, 6, or 7 stitches, and I check how the padding cord behaves. Sometimes padding cord showing itself between stitches. You don't want that. So you make, it's easier to fix it when you make 5 or 7 stitches and you take your padding cord and pull on it slightly. Not too much, very gently, to make sure that padding cord disappears anywhere you could see it. And then you continue crochet. And so you see how I grab my padding cord like this. Probably you'll find your own way of doing this. We're all very different, and this is how I crochet. I also grab my working thread with my pinky like that. It helps me to with tension. Okay, and let's continue. So I have 5 stitches, I need 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, It's kind of strange that I miscount something. It shouldn't be 9, it has to be 8. But okay, I have extra stitch, it's okay. I don't really care. Now, last 2 stitches. So if you happen to have what I just happen to have, I just for some reason have extra stitch. Don't worry about it. If you have 1 extra stitch or 1 less, it's not a big deal. You can still continue crochet. No one will notice that stitch. So now we will have 2 stitches, last stitches, we'll crochet into the back loops of our first row. And over the padding cord, of course, right there. Make sure it's nice and tight stitch, that your work look neat. So we're done here. We made our first section. Here it is. I will put this down for a while and let's come back to the diagram. And if you have questions, you can ask me questions. So, first section is done. Here it is. We made this. Now we will turn our work, continue crochet over the padding cord at first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 stitches over the padding cord and connect to the stitches of the first section. After that, we will crochet only over the padding cord, and we will crochet extra 10 stitches. And then everything repeat exactly the same as we did here. We will drop our padding cord and crochet 10 stitches, then turn work 9 stitches, then single crochet stitch over the padding cord, turn our work and crochet 10 single crochet stitches over the padding cord and into the last stitches of the last row. And we have here 3 stitches that has to be made into the row, first row of the section 2. Okay, so let's continue. I'm not sure I like the video. I see. Can you ladies type for me in the comments? Can you see very good the video? Is it clear? All I see on my phone is very good and clear, but when I look at the computer, it looks blurry. And I don't know how to fix it. So can you please type for me, you can see okay, or is it blurry? If it's blurry, just write the word blurry. That way I will know what is going on. I wish I would know how to fix this. Not sure. Well, I will continue crochet, ladies, okay? So our second section. So we continue. So first 7 stitches, we will crochet. We have to turn our work first. And we will crochet over the padding cord 7 stitches. Okay, Rick, you can see everything good. Into the back loops, over the padding cord, 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I hope I'm not going too fast for you. I'm trying to show everything slowly enough. Now again, I will stop and I look at my back. And make sure that padding cord is not shown anywhere. Also, you don't want your padding cord shown in any corners. So if you see a little bit, it's okay, but if you see too much, better pull on it slightly. Now we will crochet only over the padding cord. So first 7 stitches over the padding cord into the last row in the back loops, and 10 stitches over the padding cord only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and stop. After that, with drop padding cord, we don't need it for 2 rows. 2 rows we crochet like that. So you turn your work, drop padding cord, and we crochet into the, you see again, I'm kind of wrapping the padding cord around my fingers on my right hand. It's easier for me to crochet this way. It's nice and tight, it's easier. So we have how many stitches? 10 stitches into back loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Turn your work and crochet 9 stitches into the back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The last stitch, 9. After that, that's how it looks like. After that, we pick up padding cord and make 1 single crochet stitch over the padding cord, and make sure it's tight stitch here. To help it for you not to, for the stitch not to slip from it, what I do, I just pull on a padding cord slightly down, hold it like that, and this will help me to make my stitch nice and tight and uniform. Now turn your work and we will crochet 10 stitches over the padding cord and into the back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, I have this string. Oh, okay, no. 9, I have to have 10 stitches. So 10 stitches. Let me see something, show you. It's on a diagram, but I didn't say that. So when you look at this, so 10 stitches, and this 10th stitch goes into the stitch of this row right here. You see that, right? And then 3 stitches into the first row. It's not very clear here, but if you look very carefully, you could see that 10th, first we have 10 stitches, and the last 10th stitch go into the second row, and then 3 stitches into the first row. So I already have my 9 stitches. Now I have to have my, it's basically what I do. I go into this bump right here, like pick up something on the side of this row and make my single crochet stitch there over the padding cord, and then 3 more stitches, we're going into this row right in here, into this row and over the padding cord and into the back loops. So 1, 2, and 3, like that. Now you see how it's kind of bumpy, wavy, a little bit misbehaving. I can see my padding cord over there, so let's stop. Don't forget to stretch your last stitch slightly so that you will not lose it. And let's pull slightly on the padding cord, just slightly, not too much. So that you will make your leaf not so weird looking. So it will be flat and your padding cord is not shown anywhere. So section 2 is done. Let's look at the diagram again and see what we have to do. Okay, I have more people came in. Stanil, I think I pronounced the name right. Then there's, okay, so everybody told me it's perfectly clear. I'm not going to read names, ladies, because some of you don't have nicknames, so I don't know. I should just say hello to all of you who joined me. Good evening or good morning. I don't know where you're from. Only a few people that I know where they're from. Okay, so now I wanted to look at section number 3. So we finished number 2, section number 2. This is done. And now we will crochet. Let me turn the diagram this way, it's easier actually. So now we will crochet again over the padding cord and few stitches. It says 7 stitches into this last row of the section 2. Then we will crochet 13 stitches over the padding cord only. Then we drop padding cord and we crochet 13 row, a third row of 13 stitches, turn work row of 12 stitches. Then we again pick up padding cord and make our single crochet stitch, and then over the padding cord and over the first this part we have 13 stitches, and you see how they again this 13 stitch will go into the second row, into this row, last stitch, and then we have 6 stitches that goes into this row right in here, and then we actually will crochet stem this part, and we have here 3 stitches that go into section 2, unfinished part, then 2 single crochet that go into the stitches of the unfinished area of the first row where we've started, and then we will have to crochet 15 single crochet stitches over the padding cord only. And then we will come back again to the diagram to look a few more times what to do. So for now I will put my diagram away. You of course have it in front of you too. And so let's crochet. Section 3. So first we turn our work like that. 7 stitches over the padding cord and over the second section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now it's blurry, right? I think it's happening because of internet. I noticed that with this quarantine, with virus that we're having, everybody now online. Like at home right now, my husband is also teaching online, and he is, internet is busy. Everybody, my neighbors, everybody here also teaching. Some people have teachers, doctors, and everybody online working. So this is probably the problem. At least we are not interrupted and we have internet. That's good. But at least you can follow my voice, right? And you know what to do, what to crochet, and you can see the diagram. So first 7 stitches are done. You saw me fixing the padding cord. I looked on the back that I don't see padding cord anywhere. And now we will crochet only over the padding cord 13 stitches. So let's count 13 stitches only over the padding cord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I will pull my padding cord slightly because I can see some stitches, not stitches, but padding cord through at the very beginning here. Sometimes problem can be right in here, the transition from crocheting over the something and then only over the padding cord. This area can be kind of look kind of strange, so make sure just to come here and with your fingers help those stitches kind of stick together, be nice and snug. So after that we can drop our padding cord, turn your work, and crochet over this row 13 stitches. Well, I like to get my padding cord over this fingers on my right hand so it's kind of stabilized here, and 13 stitches, counting again 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. After that, turn your work and crochet 12 single crochet stitches. Don't forget about back loop. Crochet into the back loop. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 and 12. By the way, when you go back crocheting these rows, you don't even have to count when you go close to this guy, to the padding cord, because there will be only 12 stitches, no more, so you don't have to worry. Now, after that, pick up padding cord and make your single crochet stitch over the padding cord. I will show you one more time this how I do this. So you go around the padding cord, then I bring my padding cord kind of down and pinch my work here, so the stitch will not slide and will not create gap. I'm sorry. Let me show one more time. My hands moved. So we go around the padding cord. I put the padding cord slightly down and pinch this area. This will allow my stitch here, the thread, do not slide and not creating the gap between this stitch and stitches here on this row. That way your work will look nice and neat here. So now again we turn our work and we crochet over the padding cord stitches right in here. So let's first make it says 13 stitches and then we will count again. So first 13 stitches right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that last 13 stitch. Remember, we have to crochet into the row, second row of this section right in here. So I noticed that it's not easy to go into that. Well, actually, you can see that little bump right here, right in here. You can make your stitch there or on the side, just to smooth it out a little bit, make it smoother. This is why it's made there. So pick up that bump, and in that bump make your 13 stitch. Let me stop here a little bit, and I have to adjust my padding cord. Just pull on it slightly because it's kind of wavy here, and padding cord is showing itself. So I just give it a little push. And if it's too much, you can always go and stretch your stitches. And make sure that padding cord is not seen here on the corners of petals. So this is how it will look like for now. So now we will have to make a stem, and we will crochet. We will crochet over this area. We will crochet here, and we will crochet into this little unoccupied tail. I hope you saw it very well. Let me pick it up. So we will crochet over the padding cord, over those stitches, then we will crochet over stitches right in here, and we will make 2 stitches right here into the very first row. After that, we will crochet only over the padding cord 15 stitches. We will make a stem. So let's continue. Eric, you don't have this book, right? You don't have a diagram? I just read that you don't have a diagram, so you don't have this book, right? So first we make how many stitches it says to make. There are 6 stitches. So 6 stitches goes right in here, into this area. So over the padding cord and into back loops, of course. 1, 2. Make sure to pick up all stitches there. Don't skip any. Then 3, 4, 5. And it's always going to be difficult to get the last stitch. It's kind of tight in here. It's always, that stitch always kind of slightly tight, so you have to dig for it. So 6. I will stop for a moment. You see how sometimes it can go and kind of look funny. This is why we have padding cord. I like it. You can pull slightly on your padding cord to straighten up your misbehaving motif. The digital book is not clear, right? Well, I will talk to you a little bit later. If you'll write to me on my messenger, I will help you out with the book. We'll talk about this. I know that you can find books still available. They're out of print for many years, but you still can find the book sometimes, and better digital version. Okay, so this is nice and flat. All is stretched, behaving well. I call it behaving well. Yeah, your stitches sometimes misbehave, so. Okay, so 6 stitches. Now we have to have here 3 stitches over there and 2 stitches right there. So let's continue. So 1, then 2, and 3. Again, the stitch that kind of have to dig in. 3. And 2 stitches into that little tail right there. One and 2. And this is how it will look like. Now we crochet the rest of the stem. And according to the diagram, we need to make 15 stitches, only over the padding cord. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Also, I would recommend you, after those of you who already crochet with fine thread, you can crochet with fine thread, and you can compare it to this big humongous sleeve. Because if you'll take thread number 80, for example, it's a really fine thread, closer to thread number 100. If you will make this sleeve with that thread, it will be tiny, teeny little leaf. It will be very beautiful. it's kind of fun to make them from different threads to just compare how sizes are changing with thread. So we have our 15 stitches over the padding cord. Let me put this down and let's come back to our diagram and see what next we have to do. So here's the diagram, and we need, where's my pointy? Okay, so we made our first part of a stem. This is our section 4. Now we have to go back over the padding cord and crochet into back loops of the first row. We have to crochet all the way on over the stem and over to that area where the section 3. And all that is taking us to 30 stitches. We have to make 30 single crochet stitches over all this long area. We will go all the way 30 stitches, crochet until we stop here at this section 3, and then we will crochet section 5 and section 6, and voila, our leaf will be done. So let's right now crochet this area and then we will come back. We can actually talk together about this for now, and then crochet, it will be easier. So 30 stitches, and then we will stop here, crochet only over the padding cord, 7 stitches. It says 7 single crochet stitches. After that, we will drop padding cord and crochet 10 stitches, then go back 9 stitches, pick up padding cord, make our single crochet, and then turn and crochet 10 at first 10 single crochet stitches, then one last stitch will go into that second row here, and then 9 stitches go into this area right here, into the stem. After that we will turn and make section 6. So first let's go and continue and finish our stem. So here I want to show you also one more little trick that helps me to crochet. So we will turn and we have to crochet over the padding cord and into the back loops of our stem. This area also can be quite uneasy to make. So what I do, I take my padding cord, stretch it here, and hang the loop like that. I hold this with my pinky. And this is helping me to hold this whole entire work and crochet, at least here, while this skinny, small area, it's not very easy to crochet in here. So we need 30 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, and now it's not going to be very easy to crochet to the end holding it this way, but what I do, I slightly move my padding cord this way, shortening this loop, and later I will show you what else I will do. It's just easy. I found it easier, way easier crochet this way. And continue. So have 5, then 6, 7. And if it's not easy to crochet anymore, what you can do it already. Just drop your crochet, and we need to get rid of this loop, right? We don't need this. Just pull on a padding cord. And that's it. Okay, so now we have nice and neat stem right here. And let's continue. So I have 7 stitches. And continue over the padding cord. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let me stop here for a moment because my padding cord kind of wavy and I can see my padding cord. So what I do, I always adjust it a little. It's always better to pick up each strand separately of the padding cord and pull on it. And if it's not enough, you can always pull more. So we have 15 stitches done and 15 stitches more. And now we crochet right into the body of our leaf. 15 more stitches. Maybe 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And of course I have to stop and help my leaf look a little bit better. Again, pulling on a padding cord slightly. And if it's a little bit wavy for you, you can always pull on a padding cord and adjust and make your motif look nicer. And later you can always steam it, block it. So here it is. We have our 30 stitches. And now we crochet our next section 5. So just to remind you, we can look at the diagram. So I stopped right in here. I made my stem. It's all done. Now we crochet section number 5. And we are going to crochet 7 stitches over the padding cord and drop cord, then 10 row of 10 stitches, a row of 9 stitches, then over the padding cord 1 stitch, and then we turn back and crochet first 10 stitches over the padding cord, and then the last stitch, remember I told you, the last stitch goes into that second row, going dropping down, and then the next 9 stitches we drop down and we crochet into that first long row right here, goes there. All of this goes there over the padding cord, and don't forget back loops only. So let's do that. Section 5. So after the stem we crochet only over the padding cord, 7 stitches for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. After that, we drop our padding cord, turn our work, and we crochet 10 stitches, 10 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Turn your work. This time we crochet 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 stitches. Then pick up padding cord. We make our single crochet stitch over the padding cord. Turn your work and crochet over the padding cord into the back loops, and we crochet at first 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will go back and adjust a little bit my misbehaving padding cord because it's showing itself everywhere. So made it look nicer. Just pull slightly and continue. So 5 stitches are there. Now 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, 10th stitch goes into the second row of this section, so we'll go into that bump here. 10. After the 10, we go and crochet 9 stitches over the stem here, over our stem. 9 stitches go here into the back loop or the padding cord. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I missed one stitch. I don't know. Yep, I did. 8 and 9. So 9 stitches. Let's see how our padding cord is behaving here. Every time if your motif like this, wavy, That means you have to pull on a padding cord slightly. Don't do it very drastically, very carefully only, to make sure that your leaf is flat. That's what you want. Stem will be a little bit kind of wavy here, but it's okay because you can always fix it. And when you crochet fabric, that entire Irish crochet with netting, you can always connect to the right place and your leaf will be here flat then. So don't worry about this right now. It's not a big deal. So we have 9 stitches. Now we have to turn our work. Let me go back to the diagram to show you where and what we're doing. So I made those 9 stitches connected to the stem. Now we will turn and we will make over the padding cord and into this section 5, 8 stitches here. Then we will crochet 4 stitches only over the padding cord. Then we drop the padding cord and we go back 8 stitches. Then go back a row of 7 stitches. Then over the padding cord 1 single crochet stitch. And then going back this way, we crochet at first 8 stitches. Then the last 8th stitch will be into that row below. Then 3 stitches into the first row, way below right here. And then continue crochet. We continue crochet, make 4 stitches into that stem. And this is where we will finish. So I will show you how to finish. It's very important. So let's continue. We have very little left. Okay, so now we will turn our work. Crochet 8 stitches over the padding cord and into this section here. 8 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will stop because I can see my padding cord here. So I pulled on it and now it's look nice and neat. 5 and 3 more stitches. 6, 7 and 8. Now we crochet only over the padding cord. Four stitches, 4 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we drop padding cord, turn in our work. And crochet 8 stitches, 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Again, turn your work. How long is my padding cord? In the diagram, in the instruction of the book, it says measure 2 meters of padding cord, fold it in half, and this will be your padding cord. Of course, you see I have very little left. You want it that way. You want your padding cord here because it's easy to crochet when you have something to hold on to. So 2 meters folded in half. So now we made our 8 stitches, then going back we crochet 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. After that, we crochet over the padding cord, pick up padding cord, and make our single crochet stitch here. Turn your work and crochet into this last row. That's it. We crochet at first 8 stitches over the padding cord into back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will fix a little bit all this. 5 and 3 more stitches. So 6, 7, and remember 8th stitch, last stitch, we go in the row below, and I just like to go into this bump right here. You can see that bump, so I will go into that bump, single crochet stitch. So it's 8. Now 3 stitches, we have 3 stitches right there unfinished. It's from that row right here. So let's crochet 3 stitches there into the back loops over the padding cord. 1, 2, and 3. 3. Adjust a little bit that padding cord there. And now we have to finish and crochet into this stem few stitches. According to the diagram, it's 4 single crochet stitches. Four single crochet stitches. So go here into the 1 stitch, 1 stitch, oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. Well, let me show you something first, and then I will undo it and show you. 2, 3, and 4. So normally what I did before in my previous video tutorials on my website, I would cut thread of the padding cord and fold it slightly on the back and sew it in or weave in. It's not very easy to do. So what I start making lately, instead of sewing, because what if you will decide to use this side or you will go and like to use this side? Both sides look beautiful and you can use both sides for your crochet. But then this padding cord, you cannot cut it right here, right now, because you will unravel the first few stitches here. It's not going to be good. And the padding cord will come out. So you will have to do something about this, right? So let me do something. I'll show you. I will undo. I will unravel. First few stitches, 8 and 3. All this 7 stitches I will undo. So it was 4 and 3. 1, 2, 3. And I will show you what I do this time. When you come to the end of your work, you take this padding cord and you fold it here. Fold it on the back, like this. And you will crochet really, really tight over 4 strands now, over the folded padding cord. Let's do that, and then I will show you the rest of it. An entire padding cord has to be between the stitch and a thread. So first we will finish as we were doing it for the leaf. First 3 stitches and crochet over this padding cord now, fold it. So 1, then 2, and 3. And it's important to crochet those last stitches at the end when you fold this padding cord quite tight. You really need that. And you can adjust it by pulling slightly this way and a little bit back. But make sure not to disfigure the last leaf. Okay? And let's continue. So we have to finish into the stem according to the diagram 4 stitches. So we crochet over this folded cord. So 4 stitches. 1, then 2, 3, and the 4th stitch I will stop for a second because I want to adjust slightly here this padding cord. Make sure it's not wavy anywhere. Okay, and the last stitch, this is what we will do now. We need to make the last stitch. So we will, this padding cord right here, fold it in half. We'll pull on this part right here, but very carefully not to totally go away with this. We will use this little loop. So now let's stop. It's quite small. Pick up our hook, insert into that last stitch, into the stitch below, that 1/4 stitch that we have to do, and try to help yourself to put this loop of the padding cord on the hook, back on a hook. This is how it will look on the back. So let me show again one more time. So you have your padding cord, pull very little so that it will be very small. Then insert hook into your last stitch, into that stitch that you have to make your stitch in, and make sure you can actually first go into the loop of your padding cord, also will not make a difference, and then go into the, if it's not easy, if your padding cord still misbehaving, you can make this loop shorter, smaller. So as soon as you put it on a hook, take that short tail and pull on it slightly. Okay? And only after that you can go into the stem, pick up stitch there. And so now you have your first stitch, your padding cord here on the hook, and the last stitch of the stem. Crochet all this together. So a single crochet. You can also make slip stitch at the end. I would like to make slip stitch. Go into the next stitch of the stem and make slip stitch here. Now cut thread off. Now let's look at this padding cord. If you still have a bump right in here, you can pull on this little tail, on that short piece that left. And so what happened by doing this, when we folded our padding cord and crocheted over this, now on the back we can cut this piece off without worrying about it, because it's, and the best to do this when you have single crochet stitches, of course. And that's it. Your padding cord is hidden and your work look exactly the same way, neat and clean on the right side and on the wrong side, and both sides look really beautiful. You can use both sides for your crochet, which one you like the most. So now all is left, we need to take this short tail that we cut and weave it in. So let's get our needle. I'm trying to find the needle that has good eyelet and long enough. And we will weave it in. It does not want to go. Okay, finally. Okay, now after that, be very careful and make sure you weave in side stitches in such a way that you will not see this thread. You can weave it in a stem, or you can weave it any way you want, or in the body of the leaf, whichever is easy for you. I would go probably into the stem and weave in my thread there. Always weave in long enough tail that your work will not unravel. I use my pliers. Always use pliers to help my needle to go through those tight stitches. So one little bit and a little bit more. If you crochet with cotton, I would recommend to weave in one direction and then go back twice. And if you are working with silk thread, any sleek thread, it's nice to weave in longer piece and quite in a more than just 2 times to go back and forth, probably 3, 4. 3, 4, what I mean, like I went this way, right? Now I will weave one more time, go in this direction. When you work with silk, you better weave in a zigzag-like manner so that your sleek thread, and silk thread is really sleek, will not come out. So now I weaved in one time, and now in another direction I will go back. One more time. And it's then, you can cut your thread off, it's secured, and you don't have to worry about that. All this hard work will unravel. So the finishing part of your work also very important. How you crochet and deal with your padding cord, how you hide it between stitches that it will not show anywhere, and then how you weave in your thread. All this is very important. Your front work, the right side of the work, and your back has to look exactly the same, neat. So now I weaved my thread in, and this is time to cut this off. That's it. This is all. And so here the same leaf, wrong side and right side. You see, both of them look beautiful. You choose which side to use, but you can use both next to each other in your composition. Both of them look good. So this will be it. This is our lesson. Now, I was using thread number 10. So this is just only for learning, for practicing, for learning the technique. Now I would recommend you to go and pick up fine thread, a really fine thread, and crochet hook 0.75 or even 0.5 millimeters if you use really fine thread. The size of a leaf will be very small, very little, but this is what the beauty of Irish crochet lace: fine thread and small motifs. If you don't have questions for me, we could finish the lesson. So we made with you today this diagram. We read this. The diagram for motif number 5 is basically the same thing. So I would recommend you make this by yourself. I don't think that I need to make video tutorial for that. And next lesson, next week, we will crochet this motif. And one day I will probably just show 3 motifs in one lesson, those small ones like number 2, 6, and motif number 9. But the big one motif, this beautiful, and this motif, those are more complicated motifs. I will crochet also next week. I'm thinking about probably one time a week is not enough. We have 128 motifs, so I probably should make more videos more often. I will see, look at my schedule, and I will let you know. So here it is. This is all for today. I would like to ask you to go to my website, irishcrochetlab.com, and there you can find also some free lessons on the page that's called Crochet Marathon. There are some lessons there. Also, you can find my follow me on Facebook page that is called also Irish Crochet Lab. Follow me here on YouTube. Please like my video, it helps a lot. Comment. You can comment after this video will go published. You can comment later. I will receive your questions there and I can answer. I will see you in the next week on Tuesday at 12 o'clock. And also this Thursday, don't forget, we work with the book Masterpieces of Irish Crochet Lace. This right here. It will be on Thursday at 12 o'clock. So I invite you to this lesson. I will post all links to a lot of things, to a lot of pages that I have for you after this video in description for that video, so you can follow me and also see my announcements for the next lessons. And that will be it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope I helped you a lot with this motif. I would love to see what you made. Send me your pictures of your motifs. And have a great the rest of the week. And see you and talk to you soon. Goodbye.